Listen to me. You got to understand something today. Average will kill your dreams. Average is comfortable. Average is safe. Average is easy. But greatness requires sacrifice. It requires blood, sweat, and tears. You can't live an extraordinary life with an average mindset. You say you want success, but do you really want it? Because success doesn't come to the person who shows up when it's convenient. It comes to the one who shows up every single day, hungry, focused, and relentless. Some of you are waiting for motivation, waiting for the perfect time, waiting for someone to believe in you. Stop waiting. Nobody's coming to push you. Nobody's coming to save you. The beast inside you is the only thing that will carry you to greatness. You've got to flip the switch inside of you and go beast mode. When everybody else is sleeping, you grind. When everybody else is watching Netflix, you're building. When everybody else is comfortable, you're pushing past the pain. That's the difference between average and domination. Life is not going to hand you success. You've got to snatch it, grab it, and earn it with everything inside you. You've got to dominate the moment, dominate your habits, dominate your excuses, and dominate your life. Because when you go beast mode, when you refuse to settle, when you give everything you've got, you don't just live life, you dominate it. Listen to me. Average is the most dangerous place you can live your life. I'm not talking about physically living somewhere. I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Average is the silent killer. Average is the poison that seeps into your routine, into your thoughts, into your habits, until it convinces you that it's okay to stop pushing, that it's okay to accept less than what you're capable of. And once you start believing that lie, once you start living at that level, you kill your own potential. You bury your dreams alive. Average doesn't just hold you back, it destroys you from the inside out. See, average doesn't come at you loud and obvious. Average is sneaky. Average tells you, hey, you worked hard today, just relax tomorrow. Average tells you it's okay to skip one day at the gym, it won't matter. Average whispers, watch how harder, nobody will notice. And before you know it, that one skipped day becomes a week. That week becomes a month. And then you look back and realize you wasted a year. That's what average does. That's what average does. Steals your time, it steals your greatness one small decision at a time. And let me tell you something, average is crowded. Everybody is average. Everybody wants to fit in. Everybody wants comfort. Everybody wants ease. Everybody wants to do just enough to get by. And if you choose to stay there, if you choose to settle in that space, you'll be surrounded by mediocrity forever. But you weren't designed for average. You weren't put on this earth to blend in, to be forgotten, to be just another name in the crowd. You were put here to stand out, to rise above, to do something with your life that will echo long after you're gone. But you'll never do it if you keep living average. Think about the people you admire, the people who changed the world, the people whose names we still speak generations later. Do you think they were average? Do you think they woke up saying, I'm just going to do enough to get by? No, they decided every single day to refuse average, to refuse mediocrity, to refuse being like everybody else. They chose discipline when others chose discipline, when others chose distraction. They chose sacrifice when others chose comfort. They chose to keep going when everybody else quit. That's why they're remembered and celebrated while most people are forgotten. Let me ask you a question. What's the difference between you and the people you look up to? You think it's talent. You think it's luck? You think it's connections? No. The only difference is that they refuse. They refuse to let their dreams die in the graveyard of a good enough. They went all in. They pushed through when it hurt. They sacrificed sleep, comfort, and sometimes even relationship because they knew average would cost them everything. Some of you right now, you're living in the prison of average and you don't even realize it. You wake up, you go through the motions, you do just enough not to get fired, you do just enough to keep the bills paid. And then you come home and wonder why you feel empty, why you feel unfulfilled, why you feel like something's missing. I'll tell you why, because your soul knows you were made for more. Deep down, you know that average is choking you. That average is killing your potential. That's why you can't sleep at night. That's why you feel restless. That's why you're not happy. Because greatness is calling you, but average is keeping you hostage. You've got to make a decision today to break free. You've got to make a decision that average is no longer acceptable in your life. Stop being okay with just surviving. Stop being okay with just existing. Stop being okay with saying, I'm fine. You're not fine. You're suffocating under mediocrity. And the only way to breathe again, the only way to live again, the only way to feel alive is to kill average and chase greatness. I need you to hear me. Average kills dreams before they ever see the light of day. Some of you had visions, you had goals, you had passions when you were younger. You wanted to build something, create something, change something. But then average came in and told you it was too hard, too risky, too much work. Average convinced you to play it safe, to settle for less. And now those dreams are buried inside you, screaming to get out. But they can't come out until you make a choice, until you decide that average will no longer control you. Let me tell you something real. You don't get to keep your dreams alive and keep average at the same time. One of them has to die. Either you kill average or average will kill your dream. There's no middle ground. You can't say, I want greatness and live an average lifestyle. You can't say, I want to be successful and keep average habits. You can't say, I want more and still do less. The universe doesn't work that way. You're either all in or you're out. And here's the truth. Average is easy. Average feels good right now. Average lets you relax, but it's a trap. Because in the long run, average hurts more than sacrifice ever will. Average leaves you with regret. Average leaves you with what ifs. Average leaves you looking back at your life saying, I could have done more. I should have done more. I was capable of more, but I settled. And regret is the heaviest weight you'll ever carry. Don't let that be your story. Don't let average rob you of your greatness. Every time you choose average, you're voting against your future self. You're telling your future self, you don't matter. But every time you push past average, every time you go the extra mile, every time you give a little more, you're investing in your future. You're building a legacy. You're creating a life that will inspire others. That's the power of refusing average. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't just roll out of bed and slide into an average routine. Wake up with urgency. Wake up with hunger. Wake up with the mindset that you're going to attack the day, not coast through it. Push yourself in the gym. Push yourself at work. Push yourself in your relationships. Refuse to let average win even once, because once you let it win, it grows. But when you defeat it daily, when you push past it daily, that's when greatness starts to build inside you. Listen to me, greatness and comfort cannot live in the same house. They don't belong together. If you want to achieve greatness, if you want to stand on the mountaintop, if you want to do something with your life that people remember, then you got to be willing to give up something. You can't keep everything you want and expect to be great. Boo. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. And every time you choose comfort, you push greatness further and further away. Most people will never taste greatness, not because they aren't capable, not because they weren't given opportunities, but because they weren't willing to sacrifice. They wanted the results, but they didn't want the price. They wanted the crown, but they didn't want the cross. They wanted the reward, but not the work. That's why they settle for average. That's why they live unfulfilled. That's why they die with regrets. They chose comfort over sacrifice. You've got to understand something. Greatness is not free. There's a toll you got to pay, and that toll is sacrifice. You can't sleep like everybody else and expect to win like a champion. You can't eat like everybody else and expect to perform like an athlete. You can't waste time scrolling and binging and chilling and then complain when your life doesn't look like you dreamed it would. Comfort is robbing you of the life you're supposed to live, and the only way to get it back is through sacrifice. Some of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want to be tired. You say you want to be wealthy, but you don't want to grind. You say you want to be great, but you don't want to give up your weekend. But you don't want to give up your weekend? Listen to me, you can't have both. You either sacrifice for greatness or you sacrifice greatness for comfort, but make no mistake, one of them will die. When I was homeless, when I was sleeping in abandoned buildings, when I was eating out of trash cans, I learned something about life. Comfort is temporary, but sacrifice builds forever. See, even in the worst of times, I knew if I was willing to endure, if I was willing to keep pushing, if I was willing to give up sleep, give up excuses, give up distractions, I would get to the other side. That's the secret. Sacrifice now so you can live later. Most people live now and pay later. And when the bill comes due, it's regret. Let me make it plain for you. You can't keep partying every night and expect to graduate with honors. You can't keep spending money recklessly and expect to build wealth. You can't keep staying in toxic relationships and expect to have peace. Greatness requires letting go. Greatness requires discipline. Greatness requires the courage to say no to the things that feel good now so you can have the life you want later. And don't get it twisted. Sacrifice hurts. Sacrifice is uncomfortable. Sacrifice will make you cry. It will make you doubt. It will make you question yourself. But that's the price. That's the toll booth on the road to greatness. And the people who turn around when it gets hard, the people who choose comfort instead of pain, they never see the view from the top. Every single person you admire, every champion, every world changer, every leader, every legend, they all paid with sacrifice. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Muhammad Ali, they all gave up comfort. They got up before the sun. They worked when their body said stop. They pushed when nobody was watching. They missed party. They missed parties. They missed vacations. They missed sleep. Why? Because they understood that greatness demanded it. You think Steve Jobs built Apple by being comfortable? You think Oprah got to where she is without sacrifice? You think Martin Luther King Jr. could change the world while staying in his comfort zone? No, every single one of them had to give up something. They sacrificed time, relationships, comfort, even safety. But because they were willing, we still speak their names today. So the question is, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to put on the altar for your dreams? Because until you decide, until you say, I'm willing to sacrifice my comfort, my laziness, my excuses, my distractions, you will never get there. You'll keep living small. You'll keep wondering why your life doesn't change. You'll keep blaming everything around you instead of looking in the mirror. Listen to me. If you're comfortable right now, you're in danger. Comfort is a drug. It feels good in the moment, but it kills your future. It makes you soft. It makes you weak. It makes you settle. And the scariest part, you don't even realize it's happening. Comfort tells you, relax, you've done enough. Comfort tells you to take a break, you deserve it. Comfort tells you, don't push too hard, don't risk too much. And before you know it, you're trapped. You've wasted years and your dreams are gone. That's why you gotta fight for sacrifice. That's why you gotta embrace the grind, embrace the struggle, embrace the pain. Because on the other side of sacrifice is everything you've ever wanted. Ooh, on the other side of sacrifice is greatness. When the alarm clock goes off at 4 a.m., sacrifice says, I get up. When your body says, I can't, sacrifice says, I'll do one more. When your friend said, come out and chill, sacrifice says, stay focused. When your mind said, quit, sacrifice says, and keep pushing. That's the voice you gotta listen to. That's the lifestyle you gotta adopt. Because comfort will never give you what greatness will. And here's the reality, sacrifice is temporary, but greatness is permanent. You might suffer for a season, you might grind for years, you might go without sleep, without comfort, without recognition, but when the reward comes, when the breakthrough happens, when you finally stand where you always dreamed of standing, you'll realize it was worth it. You'll realize every tear, every lonely night, every sacrifice was the price for the life you were meant to live. So stop choosing comfort. Stop choosing easy. Stop choosing average. Decide today that you're going to embrace sacrifice, that you're going to give up whatever it takes, that you're going to pay the price in full. Because greatness will not be delivered to your doorstep. You got to go get it, and you got to pay with sacrifice. Let me tell you something, talent is overrated. Talent without consistency is wasted potential. I don't care how smart you are, how fast you are, how strong you are. If you don't show up every single day, you will lose to someone less talented who refuses to quit. That's the truth. Consistency beats talent when talent doesn't show up. Every day you wake up, you've got a choice. You can either roll over and stay in bed, or you can get up and put in the work. And the difference between winners and losers is not talent. To not luck, it's not opportunity, it's who shows up. Brains, no pain, tired, sick, stressed, champions still show up. See, some of you think you need a breakthrough. You think you need more resources. You think you need somebody to open the door for you. No, what you need is consistency. You need to wake up and decide that no matter how you feel, no matter what's going on, no matter how hard it gets, you will show up. Because showing up builds momentum. Showing up builds habits. Showing up builds character. And character will take you further than talent ever will. There are millions of people out there with talent. Millions who can sing better, run faster, write smarter, work sharper. But most of them never get anywhere. Why? Because they only show up when they feel like it. They only grind when it's easy. They only stay committed when the results are visible. But the greats grind in the dark. The greats put in the work when nobody's watching, when nobody's clapping, when nobody's giving them validation. That's what separates greatness from mediocrity. I need you to hear me on this. Success is boring. It's not fireworks every day. It's not highlight reels. It's not Instagram posts and trophies. Success is the discipline of showing up daily, repeating the same routines, perfecting the same skill, sticking to the same process until you master it. It's doing the small things right over and over and over until the big things take care of themselves. You can't expect to be great if you only show up when it's convenient. You can't expect to dominate if you only show up when you're motivated. Motivation fades. Excitement fades. What doesn't fade is discipline. What doesn't fade is consistency. That's why some people who started behind you end up ahead of you. They didn't have more talent. They didn't have more opportunity. They just showed up when you didn't. They just showed up when you didn't. They just kept going when you stopped. Let me give you an example. Kobe Bryant didn't become one of the greatest by being the most talented. There were plenty of players with incredible talent, but what separated Kobe was his consistency. He was the first one in the gym, the last one out. Every day, no excuses, no shortcuts. While others were relying on talent, he was building discipline. And when talent got tired, when talent got distracted, when talent quit, discipline stayed. That's why he's remembered. The same goes for business, for relationships, for life. You want a successful marriage? It's not built on grand gestures one time a year. It's built on showing up daily with love, respect, commitment. You want wealth? It's not built on one lucky investment. It's built on showing up daily, making smart choices with your money, being disciplined. You want to be healthy? It's not built on one hard workout. It's built on showing up daily, eating right, training right, resting right. That's the formula. Consistency is the secret. Some of you are too focused on results. You want to see progress instantly, and when you don't, you stop. But you don't realize that the results come later after the consistency. You don't plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. You water it daily. You nurture it daily. You protect it daily. And eventually it grows. Success is the same way. You've got to show up long enough, consistently enough for the breakthrough to come. And let me be real with you, consistency is hard. It's hard because life will test you. Life will throw obstacles at you. Life will hit you with sickness, with setbacks, with stress. And in those moments, the temptation will be to stop showing up. But that's the test. That's the moment that defines whether you're average or great. Because anybody can show up when it's easy. Anybody can grind when it feels good. The great ones show up when everything in them says quit. The great ones show up tired. The great ones show up broke. The great ones show up heartbroken. They keep showing up until the breakthrough comes. Think about it like this. A dripping faucet doesn't seem powerful. One drop at a time looks like nothing. But if you let it keep dripping, if it stays consistent, it can wear down stone. That's the power of consistency. Small, steady daily action has more impact than bursts of effort followed by long breaks. That's why most people fail. They go hard for a week, then disappear for a month. They sprint, then stop. But winners run the marathon. Winners pace themselves. Winners never stop showing up. So I'm asking you, what's your consistency like? Are you the kind of person who only works hard when people are watching? Are you the kind of person who only goes to the gym when you feel like it? Are you the kind of person who only studies when the exam is close? Or are you the kind of person who shows up daily, regardless of the circumstances? Because that's the difference between average and extraordinary. Let me put it this way. The world doesn't reward the most talented. It rewards the most consistent. Employers, clients, fans, family. They don't want someone who shines once in a while. They want someone they can depend on, someone they can trust, someone who will be there every time, no matter what. That's the value of consistency. That's what makes you unstoppable. And don't think consistency means perfection. You're going to have off days. You're going to mess up. You're going to stumble. But consistency means you get back up. You don't let failure keep you down. You don't let mistakes break your routine. You stay refocused. That's consistency. Listen to me. Talent opens the door, but consistency keeps you in the room. Talent might get you noticed, but consistency gets you respected. Talent might get you opportunities, but consistency builds your legacy. That's why you gotta stop relying on what you were born with and start building with what you control. Your ability to show up daily. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop sitting around waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the goosebumps, waiting for the spark to heal before you move. That's the problem with most of you. You are waiting for a feeling when what you need is action. Motivation is not going to knock on your door and drag you out of bed. Motivation is not going to magically show up and push you through your work. Motivation comes after you start, not before. Everybody wants to feel ready before they move, but listen to me, you'll never feel ready. If you're waiting to feel ready, you'll be waiting your whole life. The people who win, the people who will succeed, the people who dominate, they don't wait until they feel like it, they do it first. They act first. And when they act, motivation shows up. Movement creates motivation. Think about it. How many times have you not wanted to go to the gym? But once you started moving, the energy came. How many times did you not feel like working, but once you opened the laptop, once you got a few minutes in, you got in the zone? That's the principle. Don't wait for the feeling. Create the feeling by moving. Discipline before desire. Action before motivation. The truth is, you don't need motivation to start. You need discipline. Discipline is doing it whether you feel like it or not. Discipline is saying, I don't care what my emotions are telling me. I'm committed to the process. That's how winners think. Because they know feelings are temporary, but results are permanent. If you're letting your feelings control your actions, you'll never be consistent. But if you let your actions lead, your feelings will follow. Some of you are losing because you're waiting for the hype. You're waiting for the music, for the speech, for the moment that gets you fired up. But life doesn't work like that. There will be days when nobody is cheering for you. There will be days when nobody is clapping, when nobody believes in you, when you don't even believe in yourself. And on those days, if you're relying on motivation, you'll quit. But if you've trained yourself to act regardless, if you've trained yourself to move first, then you'll keep going. And that's what builds greatness. Stop thinking motivation is some magical force. Motivation is a byproduct of action. It's like fire. You don't get heat by staring at the wood. You get heat by striking the match. You don't get motivation by waiting. You get motivation by doing. Every step you take builds momentum, and momentum creates energy. Energy creates motivation. That's the secret. The successful people you look up to aren't motivated every day. They just move, and movement produces motivation. I've got news for you. If you only work when you're motivated, you'll never reach your potential. If you only grind when you feel like it, you'll always be inconsistent. Winners don't care about feelings. Winners care about commitments. Champions don't wait to be motivated. Champions understand that showing up comes first. The feeling comes second. That's why they separate themselves. I remember times when I didn't want to get up at 3 a.m. I didn't want to go speak. I didn't want to write. I didn't want to prepare. But I learned real quick that if I waited until I felt like it, I'd still be broke. I'd still be invisible. I'd still be lost. I'd still be lost. I had to learn to move without the feeling. And once I moved, the feeling followed. That's how you change your life. By not giving feelings the power, but by giving the process the power. You got to train your brain to stop asking, do I feel like it? And start asking, am I committed? Because if you're committed, you'll do it regardless. You'll do it regardless. And here's the truth. Once you do it, once you take that step, once you start moving, something shifts inside you. You feel proud. You feel stronger. You feel momentum. That's motivation. But you only get it by moving first. Listen to me, you gotta break this cycle of waiting. Waiting is killing your dreams. You're waiting for the right move, the right time, the right opportunity. There is no right time. There's no perfect move. The right time is now, the perfect move comes later. You move and the rest align. If you keep waiting for the stars to align, you'll waste your whole life looking up instead of building here on the ground. Think about a rocket. It doesn't wait until it feels light before it takes off. It burns the most fuel at the beginning. Woo!
Whoa.
The hardest part is liftoff, but once it breaks through, momentum carries it. Your life is the same way. Starting is the hardest part, but once you start, once you build the habit, once you build the momentum, it gets easier. That's why you can't wait for motivation to start. Motivation comes after you take off. Most people don't understand this, and that's why they're stuck. They think the greats are motivated every day. They think the champions always feel inspired. But the truth is champions feel tired. Champions feel unmotivated. Champions feel lazy sometimes. The difference is they move anyway. And when they move, when they show up, motivation comes back. They don't rely on it. They generate it. So from this day forward, I don't want to hear you say, I'm waiting for motivation. I want to hear you say, I want to hear you say, I want to hear you say, I don't want to hear you. I want to hear you say, I'm committed and the feelings will catch up. I'm committed and the feelings will catch up. That's how you win. That's how you break cycles. That's how you dominate. Because once you stop waiting and start moving, everything changes. You build momentum, you build confidence, you build belief. You build belief. Every action is a vote for the person you want to become. And the more you act, the more you reinforce your identity as someone who follows through, someone who shows up, someone who doesn't wait to be motivated, someone who moves, period. That's what separates you from average. That's what makes you dangerous. Not motivation, but action. Not feelings, but discipline. Not waiting, but moving. Stop waiting for motivation. Act first and watch motivation chase you. You've got a switch inside you, but most of you haven't flipped it yet. You're walking around with potential. You're walking around with dreams. You're walking around with power inside of you, but you're living like the switch is off. You're coasting. You're surviving. You're comfortable. And as long as that switch stays off, you'll never see what you're capable of. You'll never reach the level you were built for. You've got to flip the beast mode switch. Beast mode is different. Beast mode isn't about talking. Beast mode isn't about posting quotes or saying you want it. Beast mode is about hunger. It's about focus. It's about drive. When you flip the switch, everything about you changes. Your energy changes. Your habits change. Your priorities change. You stop playing games with your life. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You stop listening to excuses. You lock in and you attack every single day like your life depends on it, because it does. When you flip that switch, you don't move like everybody else. Regular people take breaks. Beasts keep going. Regular people need motivation. Beasts move without it. Regular people give up when it hurts. Beasts push through the pain. That's what I mean by flipping the switch. It's deciding that average is not enough. That good enough is not enough. That almost is not enough. It's choosing to operate at a level that most people can't even comprehend. Listen to me. Hunger is the fuel of beast mode. If you're not hungry, you won't chase it. If you're not hungry, you'll settle. If you're not hungry, you'll quit when it gets hard. But when you're hungry, when you want it as bad as you want to breathe, when you're starving for success, starving for freedom, starving for impact, you'll stop at nothing. Hunger doesn't let you sleep in. Hunger doesn't let you procrastinate. Hunger doesn't let you settle for comfort. Hunger makes you move when you don't feel like it. Hunger makes you fight through exhaustion. Hunger makes you sacrifice, because the hunger won't let you sit still. But hunger without focus is wasted. A beast without focus is just wild energy. That's why you gotta lock in. Focus is what turns hunger into power. Focus is what takes your energy and channels it into results. When you flip the switch, you stop being distracted. You stop giving your time to everybody and everything that doesn't align with your goals. You stop letting your phone run your life. You stop letting drama consume your attention. You put blinders on and you lock into your vision. That's focus. That's what turns a hungry person into a dangerous one. And then you add drive. Drive is the engine that keeps you going day after day. Drive is what makes you relentless. Drive is what makes you show up when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when you're broke, when you're hurting. Drive doesn't care about feelings. Drive doesn't care about circumstance. Drive says, I don't stop until I get it. I don't stop until I finish. I don't stop until I win. That's what happens when you flip the beast mode switch. Hunger fuels you, focus guides you, and drive sustains you. Some of you are too soft because you haven't flipped the switch yet. You're still living in comfort mode. Comfort mode said, I'll do it tomorrow. Comfort mode says it's too hard. Comfort mode said, this is enough. But beast mode says, now, beast mode says, mild beast mode says, whatever it takes. Beast mode says, I'll rest when I'm done. Comfort mode will give you average. Beast mode will give you greatness. The only difference is which switch you choose to flip. You've got to get to the point where you're tired of being tired of being broke, tired of being stuck, tired of being average. That's when you flip the switch. That's when you say, enough is enough. I'm not living like this anymore. I'm not letting fear control me. I'm not letting excuses stop me. I'm not letting distractions own me. Today, I'm flipping the switch and I'm going beast mode. When you go beast mode, people won't understand you. They'll call you obsessed. They'll call you crazy. They'll say you're doing too much. Let them talk. Because when you're in beast mode, you're not living for their approval. You're living for your destiny. When you're in beast mode, you don't need validation. You don't need applause. You don't need anybody to believe in you. Your hunger, your focus, and your drive are enough. And here's the truth. Beast mode is lonely because not everybody's willing to go there. Not everybody's willing to give up comfort. Not everybody's willing to sacrifice. So don't expect company. Don't expect everybody to understand. But that's what makes it special. That's what makes it powerful. Because if it was easy, everybody would do it. But it's not easy. It takes guts, sacrifice. It takes flipping that switch and refusing to go back. Once you flip it, you can't turn it off. Once you see what you're capable of in beast mode, you'll never be satisfied with average again. Once you taste that level of focus, that level of hunger, that level of drive, you'll never go back to it. Excuse, that's why I'm telling you. Flip it. Stop talking about it. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. Stop saying one day. Flip it now. Decide today that you're done with average. Decide today that you're done with comfort. Decide today that you're going all in, no matter what it costs. Because the truth is, there's a beast inside of you. There's greatness inside of you. There's another level inside of you that you haven't even touched yet. But you'll never see it until you flip the switch. You'll never experience it until you decide to stop playing small and start living big. Flip the switch and you'll unlock the version of yourself that dominates, that conquers, that inspires, that leaves a legacy. Flip the switch and you'll stop surviving and start living. Flip the switch and you'll finally see what you're really made of. When you look around, you'll notice that most people are living life on cruise control. They're comfortable, they're relaxed, and they're doing just enough to get by. But if you really want to separate yourself from the crowd, if you really want to elevate to that next level, you have to develop the mindset that you will keep working when others stop, that you will keep grinding when others clock out. Success is not about talent alone. It's about the hours, the discipline, the willingness to keep pushing when everybody else has tapped out. The world is full of people with potential, full of people who once had big dreams, but they let comfort and convenience kill that fire. They quit early. They got tired. They decided that rest was more important than the pursuit of greatness. And while they're asleep, while they're resting, while they're settling for mediocrity, the one who chooses to keep moving forward gains the advantage. That's the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. The willingness to go one more round, to take one more step, to keep fighting when you don't feel like it. Think about it. Champions are not built in the spotlight. They are built in the dark, behind closed doors when nobody is watching. It's easy to give effort when the crowd is cheering, when people are clapping for you, when everything feels good. But beast mode is about what you do when the lights are off, when no one is there to pat you on the back, when it's just you, your discipline, and your vision. That's when greatness is born. When you're willing to say, I don't care how tired I am. I don't care how much my body wants to quit. I don't care if nobody else believes in me. I'm going to keep going. That decision made consistently is what puts you in a league of your own. The truth is, most people lose not because they lack ability, but because they lack endurance. They run a good first mile, but when it gets hard, they stop. You've got to condition yourself to outlast everybody else. When others go to bed at midnight, maybe you stay up another hour to work on your craft. When they're still sleeping at 5 a.m., maybe you're already up, putting in the work. Those extra hours compound over time. That consistency stacks up. It's not about one massive day of effort. It's about 1,000 little decisions to keep pushing, day after day, when others won't. And when those moments add up, they separate you. That's why when you see someone at the top of their game, dominating their field, it's not luck. It's discipline. It's sacrifice. It's the product of thousands of hours that nobody saw. The hours when they worked while others rested. But don't get it twisted. Working when others rest is not just about the physical grind. It's also about the mental toughness. You've got to train your mind to ignore comfort, to ignore the voice that said, it's okay to stop now. That voice is the voice of average. That voice is the voice that talks people out of greatness. When that voice shows up, you've got to replace it with a stronger one. No, I don't stop here. No, I don't take shortcuts. No, I don't quit when I'm tired. I quit when I'm finished. That kind of mental conversation, repeated daily, builds a beast mode mindset that refuses to let you settle. There will be days when your body feels broken, when your mind feels drained, when it feels like the whole world is against you. And in those moments, the temptation to rest, to relax, to take it easy will be stronger than ever. But that's when you have to remind yourself, this is where the separation happens. This is where champions are created. Anybody can work hard when it's easy. Anybody can give effort when they feel good. But only the elite keep pushing when everything inside of them says, stop. That's where the gap is formed. That's where dominance is built. Look at history at every great athlete, entrepreneur, or leader. You'll notice the same pattern. They had the same 24 hours as everybody else, but they chose to use theirs differently. They chose to invest when others wasted. They chose to sacrifice when others indulged. They chose to work when others rested. And because of that, they stood on stages, they broke records, they lived the dreams that others only talked about. They weren't more talented than everyone else, they were more relentless. They simply refused to stop. So ask yourself today, are you resting when you should be grinding? Are you slowing down just because others are slowing down? Or are you committed to working while the world sleeps? Because if you want to dominate life, you can't afford to do what average people do. Average people let themselves rest too soon. Average people stop at 70%, 80%, sometimes even 90%. But beast mode means you don't stop until the job is done, until you've gone all in, until you've given every ounce of energy you have. And here's the truth. Those who are willing to work when others rest eventually get to rest while others work. The grind may be heavy right now. The sacrifice may feel overwhelming. But if you stay consistent, if you keep going, if you refuse to quit, one day you'll find yourself in a position where your discipline has bought you freedom. The world will call you lucky, but you'll know it wasn't luck. It was the late nights, the early mornings, the hours spent grinding while everyone else was sleeping. You got to decide if you're okay being like everybody else, or if you're willing to do what others want so you can live the life others can't. The choice is yours. Are you going to rest with the crowd, or are you going to rise, go beast mode, and work when others don't? Because the one who works when others rest is the one who dominates, the one who leads, the one who wins. Every single day you wake up, you're either making decisions that push you toward your destiny, or you're making decisions that drag you back into mediocrity. And the truth is, it's not the giant moments that determine your life. It's the small, quiet habits you practice when nobody's watching. Habits are the foundation of greatness. The way you do the little things is exactly how you'll do the big things. If your habits are sloppy, your results will be sloppy. If your habits are strong, disciplined, and focused, your results will reflect that strength. Too many people want the prize without respecting the process. But the process is built on daily habits. Look around at the people who are dominating their fields. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. And you'll notice one theme. Their daily habits separate them. It's not luck. It's not connection. It's not some magic formula. It's their discipline in the small things. Waking up at 5 a.m. when the body screams for more sleep. It's hitting the gym even when the muscles are sore. It's studying, reading, learning, and investing in themselves when the rest of the world is distracted by entertainment. They understand that every small action, repeated with consistency, creates momentum. Then momentum over time becomes domination. Most people think habits are minor, but that's because they don't see the long-term compound effect. Missing one workout doesn't make you weak. Eating one unhealthy meal doesn't ruin your body. Skipping 1 hour of work doesn't make you fail. But those actions stacked day after day become who you are. Average people don't realize they are building failure one bad habit at a time. Extraordinary people understand they're building greatness one good habit at a time. Every time you practice discipline, you're laying a brick in the foundation of your success. Over weeks, months, and years, that foundation becomes unshakable. Think about it. Your habits are training your mind and body either to obey you or to betray you. When you hit snooze every morning, you're training yourself to settle. When you procrastinate, you're teaching yourself that excuses matter more than results. When you binge on distractions, you're proving to yourself that comfort matters more than destiny. But when you wake up early, even though it's hard, you're training yourself to fight. When you keep your word, even to yourself, you're training your character. When you push through pain, you're training your mind that obstacles can't break you. Your habits are constantly building the version of you that will either win or lose in life. Don't get it twisted. Greatness isn't about talent alone. There are people with all the talent in the world who never made it because their habits betrayed them. Talent might get you noticed, but habits will keep you at the top. Habits are your daily ritual, the invisible systems that direct your energy. If you master them, you master your life. But if you ignore them, you will always wonder why success feels so far away. The beast inside you doesn't need to roar every day in front of the crowd. It needs to show up in silence, in the grind, in the unseen moments where discipline is forged. That's beast mode. It's not just about hyping yourself up for the big game, the big meeting, the big stage. It's about showing up when there's no spotlight, when it's just you and your willpower. That's where domination begins. Your habits must align with your goals. Don't tell me you want to be a millionaire if your habits look like a broke person's habits. Don't tell me you want to be in shape if your habits look like laziness. Don't tell me you want to be great if your habits look average. Your habits must match your hunger. Your daily actions must match the vision you claim to have. If your goals are big, your habits have to be bigger. Ask yourself, what are the habits I'm feeding every day? Am I feeding excuses or am I feeding execution? Am I feeding distractions or am I feeding discipline? Am I feeding fear or am I feeding courage? Every choice is a seed, and those seeds watered daily will grow into the tree you sit under tomorrow. That's why domination is not built in a moment. It's built into consistent, small, powerful habits. If you want to be unstoppable, you got to take control of your routines. Stop letting your emotions dictate your habit. Stop letting the mood of the moment decide whether you show up or not. Winners don't rely on feelings. They rely on discipline. They program their habits so deeply that action becomes automatic. They don't debate with themselves about whether they should grind. They just do it. They don't argue with themselves about whether they should keep their commitments. They just keep them. That's what separates them from the average. Every successful person you admire didn't get there by accident. They designed their life through intentional habits. They built momentum brick by brick, day after day, until it became impossible to ignore their greatness. And you can do the same, but it starts with respect for the small things. If you can dominate your mornings, you can dominate your days. If you can dominate your days, you can dominate your weeks. If you can dominate your weeks, you can dominate your life. Domination is simply the compound effect of disciplined habits practiced over time. Stop asking when your big break will come. Stop asking when the world will notice you. Stop asking when opportunity will knock. Opportunity will always come to those whose habits have prepared them for. Until then, you grind. Until then, you dominate your habits. Because the truth is, when your habits are beast mode, your life will eventually reflect beast mode. The average never wins because the average never masters the small details. Dominate your habits, and you'll dominate your destiny. Excuses. That's the language of average. Excuses are the comfort food of mediocrity, the blanket that keeps people warm at night while their dreams rot away in silence. You say, I don't have the time. You say, I don't have the resources. You say, I don't have the connection. And I say, you don't have the hunger, because hunger doesn't need a perfect situation. Hunger doesn't need a perfect situation. Hunger doesn't need permission. Hunger doesn't wait for the stars to align. Hunger takes what it has and makes it work. Hunger finds a way. Excuses are chains. They lock you in place. And the longer you entertain them, the heavier they get until you can't move at all. You've been walking around carrying those excuses like a backpack full of bricks. And you wonder why you're exhausted, why you're frustrated, why you feel stuck. It's because you're choosing to carry excuses instead of results. Listen, everybody has an excuse. Every single person you admire, every person who made it to the top had a reason to quit. They had a reason to stop. They had setbacks, failures, betrayals, heartbreak, lack of money, lack of support, lack of belief. But the difference between them and you is that they refuse to let their excuses define them. They replaced excuses with execution. They stopped talking about what they couldn't do and started showing what they could do. Execution doesn't care about your feelings. Execution doesn't care if you're tired, if you're broke, if you're scared. Execution says, I'll do it anyway. You can sit there and tell me all the reasons why it won't work, or you can stand up and show me one reason why it will. That's the difference between average and great. Average talks. Greatness acts. And let me tell you this, excuses are attractive. They sound good. They give you comfort. They make you feel safe. They whisper, it's not your fault. It's okay, you can try tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And before you know it, 10 years have passed, and you're still in the same place telling the same story. You're still saying, one day I'll get serious. One day I'll chase my dream. One day I'll put in the work. But a one die is not a day on the calendar. The one die is a graveyard where dreams are buried. People die with more excuses than memories, more regrets than victories, because they chose to defend their excuses instead of fight for their destiny. You've got to kill the excuses before they kill your future. You've got to declare war on every I can't, every maybe later, every I don't feel like it. Stop negotiating with yourself. Stop trying to rationalize laziness. Stop justifying why you didn't give 100%. Your future doesn't care about your excuses. Your goals don't care about your excuses. Your dream doesn't care about your excuses. They only respond to action, to effort, to sweat, to sacrifice. So you've got a decision. Either stay average and keep polishing your excuses, or step into greatness and start executing like your life depends on it, because it does. Think about it. Excuses will rob you of opportunities you'll never get back. While you're busy explaining why you could, somebody else is out there doing. While you're sitting down rationalizing why you're not ready, someone else is already running past you. Life doesn't pause for your excuses. Time doesn't stop because you're not prepared. Opportunities don't wait for you to feel like it. The world is moving whether you move or not. And the ones who win are not the ones with the best conditions, but the ones with the most commitment. Commitment kills excuses. When you are truly committed, you don't even see the excuse, you only see the opportunity. When you're committed, it doesn't matter how tired you are. It doesn't matter how scared you are. It doesn't matter how unscared you are. It doesn't matter how uncertain you are. You show up and execute. Ask yourself right now, how many times have you let an excuse steal something from you? How many times have you looked back and said, if only I would have pushed a little harder. If only I would have started sooner. If only I would have stayed consistent. Those are the scars of excuses. But the good news is, it's not too late. You can decide right now to drop every excuse and replace it with action. You can decide right now to stop being average, to stop letting excuses run your life, and to start executing like your dream is non-negotiable. Because it is. Your family depends on it. Your future depends on it. Your purpose depends on it. So from this moment on, no more excuses. Don't tell me you don't have time. Wake up earlier. Don't tell me you don't have money. Find a way to start with what you got. Don't tell me you don't know how. Learn, study, ask, research. Stop waiting for perfect conditions, because perfect conditions don't exist. Winners don't need perfect. They make progress in the middle of chaos. That's what execution looks like. That's what beast mode is. Beast mode doesn't cry about what it doesn't have. It maximizes what it does have. Beast mode doesn't whine about the challenge. It embraces the challenge as the training ground for greatness. Beast mode doesn't excuse failure. It learns from it and comes back stronger. You got two options right now. Stay average with your excuses or step into greatness with execution. You can't do both. You can't claim you want success while nurturing your excuses. One of them has to die. And I promise you, if you don't kill your excuses, they will kill your future. They will choke out your potential. They will rob you of the life you could have lived. Don't let that be your story. Don't let excuses write your ending. Take control, step up, and execute. Because at the end of the day, life doesn't reward excuses. Life rewards execution. And if you want to dominate, if you want to go beast mode, if you want to live the life you dream about, you've got to bury your excuses and replace them with relentless, unstoppable, uncompromising execution. You say you want success. You say you want greatness. You say you want a better life. But let me be real with you. Success is not something you inherit. Success is not something you stumble into. Success is not a lottery ticket you scratch and suddenly your whole life changes. Success is earned. It's built. It's forged in the fire of long nights, early mornings, blood, sweat, and tears. And the people who dominate life are the ones who take full ownership of their destiny, not the ones waiting for handouts, not the ones pointing fingers, not the ones blaming their environment or their family. The truth is, nobody owes you anything. Life doesn't owe you. Your boss doesn't owe you. Your parents don't owe you. And the world certainly doesn't owe you. If you want it, you've got to earn it. I'm telling you, the gap between average and greatness is ownership. Average people want to be given something. They sit back and wait for someone to open a door, for someone to notice them, for someone to hand them the opportunity. But those who dominate, they don't wait for doors to open. They kick the doors down. They don't wait for someone to validate their worth. They prove their worth with their actions. They don't wait for the environment to be perfect. They create the environment through hustle, sacrifice, and persistence. When you wake up in the morning, you got to look in the mirror and say, if I succeed today, it's on me. If I fail today, it's on me. If I stay average, it's on me. If I grow and level up, it's on me. That's the mindset that separates those who live at the bottom from those who dominate the game. Because let's be honest, we live in a world where excuses are easy. It's easy to blame your boss. It's easy to blame your parents. It's easy to blame the system. It's easy to blame your circumstances. But I promise you this, excuses will never build your dream. Excuses will never get you the life you want. Excuses will keep you average. Some of you have been carrying excuses your whole life. Oh, I didn't have the right parents. I didn't grow up in the right neighborhood. I didn't get the right education. I don't have the right connections. Listen to me. Some of the greatest champions, some of the most successful people on this planet came from absolutely nothing. They didn't inherit wealth. They didn't inherit wealth. They didn't have opportunities handed to them. They didn't have perfect circumstances. What they did have was ownership. They had a mindset that said, I don't care where I start. I don't care what I lack. I don't care what I don't know. I'm going to find a way. That's the difference maker. Average people wait for someone to fix their life. Beast mode people fix their own life. Average people wait for opportunity. Beast mode people create opportunity. Average people want success if it's easy. Beast mode people grind for success even when it's hard, even when it's painful, even when the odds are stacked against them. Success is earned, but earning it requires you to be willing to pay the price. And the price is not money. The price is discipline. The price is sacrifice. The price is consistency. Some of you want the trophy, but you don't want the training. You want the reward, but you don't want the work. You want the recognition, but you don't want the grind. And I've got news for you. If you don't want the work, you don't deserve to win. You got to stop expecting outcomes you didn't put the effort in for. The champions, the legends, the people who dominate life. They don't pray for it. They don't wish for it. They don't wait for it. Hey, they don't wait for it. They work for it. They wake up earlier. They stay up later. They push harder. They sacrifice more, and they keep going when everyone else quits. That's why they win. It's not talent alone. It's not luck. It's not chance. It's earned. Every ounce of their success was purchased with sweat, persistence, and ownership. You've got to ask yourself, do you want to be average or do you want to dominate? Because you can't have both. You can't talk about wanting to be great and then live an average lifestyle. You can't say you want financial freedom, but spend your time and energy on distractions. You can't say you want health, but keep eating garbage and skipping workouts. You can't say you want to lead, but keep following the crowd. Greatness requires alignment. Your actions, your habits, your mindset all have to align with your words. If you're serious about dominating life, then it's time to stop talking and start executing. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop looking for excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect time, because there is no perfect time. Because there is no perfect time. The only perfect time is now. The only way to dominate life is to do the work, day in and day out, no matter how you feel. Motivation will fade, but discipline and ownership will carry you when motivation runs out. Look around you. The people who dominate, the ones who rise above average, they don't just talk about it, they live it. Their habits are aligned with their goals. Their actions scream louder than their words. They don't wait to be inspired. They create their own fire. They understand that the world doesn't hand out greatness. The world tests you to see if you're willing to earn it. So here's the challenge. Stop asking the why me and start asking the why not me. Stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself permission. Stop waiting for a break and start becoming the break. Success is not given. Success is not gifted. Success is not borrowed. It's earned. And when you take full ownership of your life, when you stop blaming, start building. When you stop wishing and start working. When you stop being average and start going beast mode, that's when you'll earn it. That's when you'll dominate. When you decide to live life on another level, you stop asking for permission and start demanding results from yourself. Too many people wake up every single day waiting for life to hand them something, waiting for someone else to believe in them, waiting for opportunity to show up. But beast mode doesn't wait. It creates. Beast mode doesn't hope. It executes. Beast mode doesn't care about average because average is the language of comfort, and comfort never builds greatness. If you're serious about dominating life, you have to commit to going beyond your excuses, beyond your fears, beyond what feels good, and push yourself to places you've never gone before. Life isn't waiting for you. It's passing you by every second. Every single day, you're either closer to your dreams or further away. And the difference is whether you decided to play small or go beast mode. Beast mode means you stop living like the rest of the world. While they're sleeping, you're working. While they're making excuses, you're making progress. While they're blaming circumstances, you're finding solutions. While they're waiting for the right time, you're creating the right time. You can't dominate life doing what everyone else does because everyone else is satisfied with average, and average is overcrowded. If you're going to separate yourself, you have to live differently, think differently, and grind differently. Domination doesn't come from wishing. It comes from sacrifice, sacrificing comfort, sacrificing excuses, sacrificing temporary pleasures so you can build something permanent. The beast isn't concerned about how tired it feels, how much it's already done, or how long the road looks. The beast keeps pushing until the job is done. The truth is, life is going to test you. It's going to hit you harder than you ever imagined. And when it does, you have a choice. Fold like everyone else or rise like a beast. Average people let life's punches keep them down, but beasts get back up every single time. You might be broke, you might be exhausted, you might be misunderstood, but if you refuse to quit, life can't stop you. Ooh. Domination isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. The beast doesn't whine, doesn't complain, doesn't point fingers. The beast adapts, learns, and comes back stronger. And when you live with that mindset, life starts bending in your favor because you're no longer playing by the rules of average. You're creating your own rules. You gotta want it so bad that quitting isn't an option. You gotta want it more than you wanna be comfortable, more than you wanna fit in, more than you wanna sleep. You have to want it so bad that people call you obsessed, and you smile because obsession is the only thing that separates average from greatness. People will tell you to slow down, to take it easy, to be realistic. But beast mode doesn't do a realistic. Realistic is just another word for settling, and settling has never changed the world. If you're going to dominate life, you have to be willing to chase what others call impossible. Because the truth is, impossible is only impossible until someone decides to prove otherwise. Every day you're faced with two choices: be average or be a beast. And if you're tired of living a life of regrets, if you're tired of waking up and feeling like you're just existing instead of living, then you know what choice to make. Stop playing small. Stop waiting for someone else to give you permission. Stop living in the shadows of your own potential. Dominate. Take control of your time, your energy, your focus. Put everything you have into the life you want. And don't stop until it's yours. People may doubt you. They may laugh at you. They may not believe in you. But when you go beast mode, none of that matters. Because at the end of the day, the beast doesn't care about opinions. It only cares about results.